And we have YouTube, we have Twitter, and now we have Facebook. Welcome, one and all, to an episode of THRS Deep Cuts, our Thursday night sessions. When we get the extra one in the week, we call it Deep Cuts. And we're here for another one. I'm Andrew.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Dave.
Thank you both for joining me tonight for another fun little session. Brendan last time was involved in the chat saying it was getting pretty grim during the bin section, so he figured he'd come in and liven things up for us this week. Tonight we're going to go through the latest releases from Aussie band Carmeria. We're also going to cover off the latest from Charlie Benante and a supergroup called Sunbomb, in case you don't know who that is. We'll get you the information you need later on. We'll have a hot topic in a second, all that usual stuff. Make sure you hit the links in our description. Give us a like, a follow. Share this one around if you can. And while we're going along, get involved in the comments. We'll try and bring up your comments on screen. If you've got any questions, whatever else, have at it. Follow us, like, subscribe, like I was saying before. Check out our sponsors as well. A big thank you to Squidding, Screen Printing, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description of this one, whether you're watching now live with us or later on or listening to the audio, whatever floats your boat there, it'll all be there for you. And, check them out too. And if you want to help us directly, then we have a PayPal link there, or there's a Patreon page too. All the information you need is in the links, so go and check it out. I think that's all the usual preamble nonsense out of the way. We have Sally joining us, a great regular of ours. So, hey, Sally. So there we go. And, like that, like I was saying, share this one around, get involved in the comments, and all the usual stuff. Another regular has joined us well, and Dean, thanks for joining us again.
Hey, mate.
Lads, this week has been good. Yes, I think we're all going well so far, so good. But I think on that note, Brendan, how you going? It's been a little while for you.
Going well, mate. Busy with all things Orange, of course, as
yes,
we've covered in the past. So album launch this weekend on Saturday at the Workers Club. If you can come down, please do. Buy tickets or just buy tickets and don't show up. That's also cool. That's been keeping me pretty busy at the moment. So that on top of course, a day job.
Yep.
Life is good. The response to the album's been great. It's been shared around. Lots of people listen to it, seem to like it. Except for one prick, but fuck that guy. So,
Who didn't like it?
I don't know, some friend of Tash's. It was quite amusing.
I can feel that. That was funny.
It was funny.
How did I miss this?
Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's not focus on the negative. Let's focus on the positive.
Okay.
I'm here for the happiness. So
yeah, well, actually, you are bringing that, remember?
See?
No, well, we've said it to you in the chat, but congratulations to you on a fucking fantastic album. We both loved it, so
cool. Thank you.
Done a great job with that. Anything else happening there, or it's all just about the launch this weekend?
All about that.
All about
that. Buy one.
It's on CD and vinyl, isn't it, Brendan?
Vinyl. Hey.
There you go. From the guy who didn't have a record player only a matter of months ago, he's now got a copious collection and has his own record on vinyl.
Yeah, and serious credit card fucking debt.
Oh, awesome. Another regular of ours, Nudes, has jumped in. Hello, Nudes. Hey, guys. So he's awesome. Good to have you here with us. For those that are watching, don't forget that at 10:30 tonight in Adelaide on South Australian time, we have an episode going on there as well. We got David Clement joining us as well. Cool. He's from over that way as well. He's got that Orange album. He's great, playing a song on the radio this Sunday. So please do check out his radio show on Sunday. David, if you want to, feel free to share a link to your show in the comments there. He's following us on Twitter, so he's watching via Periscope. So go and check out that link. Hopefully he sticks that in there for everyone to check out. Sunday afternoons. How about you, Dave? How you going?
Yeah, I'm good. Still busy with the day job. And it's my son's birthday tomorrow, so we've been pretty busy getting all set for that. He's turning 7. Wow. And it's gone really quick, amazingly quick. But he's not going to sleep tonight. He's stoked. Every day, it's like, it's one day closer to my birthday. Can it be tomorrow? No, I can't speed up time. I can change your clock for you, but I can't make the day go any quicker. Apart from that, yeah, just been listening to lots of music, watching lots of wrestling. So life is good.
Cool.
How you?
Sorry?
How you been?
Yeah, good. Just still a busy week. It's all busy at the moment. But around that, just having some fun with all this sort of stuff, listening to music to get things ready to go, and chatting like we do behind the scenes, having some fun. We're having a good little chat before we went live, because we've got the Antenna Awards coming up next Saturday on the 29th, I think it is. So that's going to be interesting, put it that way. Putting it on the record, we did not expect to win. We don't even care about winning, to be honest, because we were just stoked to get nominated for the first time ever. So that's the feather in the cap we need. We're going to go there, dress up as we can only dress up, and have some fun with the red carpet. Go smash the bar at the after party after. That's about the plan for us. So that's about it. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun this weekend, some fun next weekend, and in between we'll do some more silly shit like this now. So we've got a lot going on. There's a whole lot of great releases coming out. So, yeah, more to do, but it's all good fun. Speaking of things like this, Sally's gone, congrats on the Orange album. She likes us. We've got another fan there, Brendan. There you go. And Dave's jumped in to say his show is on 5ZZZ.com.au at 1 p.m. South Australian time. The show is called Heavy Metal Thunder, so please do go and check that out on Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. South Australia time. All right. So we've had some fun. I'm going to sort of, unfortunately, I do need to do this. I need to bring the mood down just a touch. All right. There is a link to what I'm going to discuss here in the description, but there's also going to be one in the comments on all the platforms. So if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or it didn't go through. Did it go through? I don't know. It looks like it went through, but didn't go through at the same time on Periscope, which is weird. But all right. Anyway, there's a link there in the comments for this little post I'm going to put together now. So this is Channel 31 shared this. Channel 44 have shared this. It was originally posted by the Australian Community Television Alliance, or ACTA. So here's where we're at with all this sort of stuff. As some of you know who've been following us for a while, the fight is on yet again to keep community television on the air past the end of June, which is, pretty important to us all here. That's what we are. We're there twice a week on different channels. We'd like to keep doing that if we can, please. So here's just some stats and facts for people that want to know more about this, and this a heading basically saying 6 weeks to go. There are just 6 weeks to go on what has become an all too familiar situation for community television stations across Australia. Here are the facts. Community TV does not receive ongoing direct funding from the federal government. This is not a taxpayer-saving issue. The 600 megahertz spectrum band, which community TV occupies, is not required, as per the government's own admissions, see the Media Reform Green Paper for more, until 2024 at the earliest, possibly as late as 2026, or possibly never if the media reform proposal is blocked by the commercial networks. If a digital restack does proceed around 2026, there is a pathway for community TV to exist within the future framework of free-to-air television for many years to come. There is no fundamental reason to remove community TV from free-to-air broadcasts by June 30, 2021. The dismantling of community TV in Australia has been the current federal government's preference, not a requirement. Since 2014, the government has provided 7 switch-off deadlines. We've been here for all of them, and 7 last-minute extensions. Number 7 was pictured below, provided 26 hours prior to the switch-off announced on live TV. So, yes, no one knew about it. Everyone's inboxes went off when that came through. Community TV stations broadcast around 120 Australian-made programs weekly, featuring over 40 cultural groups and servicing multiple faith groups. Roughly 1,000 volunteers contribute to the sector each week, and it contributes immeasurably to the local economies in South Australia and Victoria. We could go on. During COVID, community TV stations re-emerged as essential broadcasters, providing connectivity, health information, news and entertainment to their local viewers, many from groups mainstream media does not cater to. That includes us. Need we mention those without steady and reliable internet access as well. So don't forget that this is meant to be, TV being pushed to the online world when the government fucked up the NBN so badly. The federal government states they believe community TV will be better off online via digital platforms, yet they are unable to guarantee access to said platforms. Community TV stations recently suffered a 2-week outage on Facebook due to their Australian news ban. This could happen again at any time. Australian news and content should never be entirely reliant upon foreign-owned platforms. Hear, hear. Frankly, we're tired of having to make these arguments every year, and now more than ever before. So there is simply no reason for us to have to do so now. It's time for Paul Fletcher to address this once and for all. Keep local TV. So that's that's the spiel. That's the thing right now. So that's where we're at. We got a bit under 6 weeks now, I think it is, before this all goes dark, so to speak, on us all once again. Brendan, you've been through a few of these now with us. Dave and I have spoken in the past with this one, but where does this sort of land for you? Now you've had a few, like last year was the big one, but yeah.
Oh, much like you, I imagine. It shits me to tears.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difficult thing. It's the whole if you let the corporates run everything, then you're closer to fascism than you realise. And you know, you just can't allow that. There needs to be that certain element of community in government television and radio. You know, I mean, the mainstream media is god awful, and you know they said they point the finger at social media, but they're reporting on the social media as it was fucking news, and you know we just don't need that crap.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just nice, to have community TV and government television is bloody important. It's just, you know, people without an agenda doing their thing, and you know our show. You know, we laugh and we joke and we have a wonderful bloody time on here, but you know, Channel 31's got some bloody important television shows. And I'm not playing underselling our importance either. I think what we do is important. Like, I mean, we laugh it off, but you know, the first time I ever saw one of my friends' bands on this show, it was I thought it was fucking amazing. So it has impact.
Yeah.
And there's no other avenue. You know, there's no other avenue at all for local rock bands. So look, I just think it's crucial. It would be devastating if it went. But, you know, this is the world we live in.
You got anything you want to add this time around, Dave?
Nothing apart from what I've already said. But, you know, I still get recognised regularly at the shops, local suburbs, or if I'm at like Southland or Chadstone or something like that, and, you know, just chat with somebody for a couple of minutes, and they're like, well, I hope you guys get extended. It's like, well, even if they don't, we'll still be around. They're like, yeah, but I'm not that good with online. So even if everything goes 100% online, it's not going to cater to everyone like it should. Because a lot of the demographics of different shows on Channel 31 are elderly or aren't able to use the internet, and others are well-versed as we are, or younger people even. So it's about catering to everyone. And taking away community TV certainly takes it away from a lot of people.
For mine, it's one of those things. Once it's gone, it's gone, and it come back. We've seen it with the other stations that have all folded. There's only South Australia and Victoria left. The youth ones in WA, Queensland, New South Wales as well. They're all gone. So there's only two standing. It's a precious, precious resource. Yes, I understand that bandwidth is precious too, but at the same time, like it says, there's no need for it to go yet, at least. And I think that with the amount of funding cuts that go into things like ABC, SBS, and so on and so forth, and the fact that the community television is not perpetually funded, they've gotten some, help here and there, during COVID and whatever else, especially. But that should be kind of like the bare minimum for mine, because it's the whole public access thing. There's no one else. Like, we're a bunch of hacks. We're not professionals. We're not anything. We do what we can, the best we got with what we got. We learn. We do things. We grow. We do the online stuff as well. We cut bits of this to go to the TV and all the other things we do now. So we've changed with the times. But however, people that aren't as quick to take up things like that, or like Dave was saying, people will get left behind if we don't have television anymore. And it's still, like what Brennan was saying, one of the most critical ways we have of getting music out there, because we can't play video clips online because of all the silly restrictions that go into it. We can on TV. So it's, critically important for us to give, because it's what's the wait list? If you get your song played on Rage, the wait list is how many months long? Whereas with us, we can do it whenever we get around to it, kind of thing. So it can be immediately or it can be later on, but either way, we'll get to it. I think that, that whole thing, we've been here before a million times. Now it feels like you the proverbial broken record here, but I think it's important to keep it. If those that are watching or listening later on or whatever else want to get involved in this, then write your local parliament member. That's the best way to get your voice heard on this. Just Google who your local representative is, be it state or federal level. Take your pick. and just write them saying, just even just simple line, just please keep community TV on the air, because I think it's a critical thing, and it's like was said, this is not our show. It has impact, but in terms of what it's meant to other people in bigger demographics than just people that like hard rock and heavy metal, it does serve a completely important and viable community function, and is an invaluable resource to those that utilize it regularly. And of that there are, because during lockdown you get over 100,000 viewers a week on community TV. It's not nothing. This is community TV, public access, all DIY stuff. People like us. So that's what we got. We've got a comment here from Dave saying THRS on community TV is how I learned about Aussie heavy bands. Other stations don't promote them. So there we go. We've all waxed lyrical on and on about, the lack of mainstream support for the bands that we support and show. So, for us alone, but this is just a niche community for us. Imagine what it's like for the bigger things out there than just, rock and metal. Like we're 10:30 p.m. on nighttime. There's other mainstream stuff that just doesn't get any help at all. So please keep it on the air. It's, we keep doing this every year, but it's important. Here we go. Right after midnight, we'll speak out for Channel 31 and THRS. You guys gave us a heap of recognition. So there we go. And we have that old thing too where bands regularly get a spike in their social interactions and people buying stuff after we play their stuff. So it has impact. Definitely has impact. So, yeah, I guess, we'll say it before. We'll say it again. Keep us on the air. Sally's jumped in with, if I start, it'll be a total rant, but mainstream TV is ridiculous. I very rarely watch it, but when I do, it's amazing how you're spoken down to. They seem to think we're a bunch of infants. No wonder people are stupid. We need a straight down the line approach of Channel 31. So there we go. By people, for people. That's what it is. Changing gears, we have another old regular gear from Norway, and Viking Queen has jumped back in to say hi. Been a little while since I've seen you, but thanks for coming back in and saying hi. Feel free to keep leaving your comments as we go along. We will get stuck into a review and move this show along and not be we'll move on to something positive, because I'm pretty sure this one will be, and hopefully you'll all enjoy this as well. So please check out the description or check out the comments now, because I'm linked to the latest from Carmeria, which is a song called To Lead the Blind. This is an Aussie band, so speaking of all this sort of stuff with community TV, check this one out, because we have played this on the show before, and it would be good if you check it out now and give us your thoughts whenever you're able to, because we're about to review the album. So without any further ado, this is Carmeria with Advenay, 12 tracks for 63 minutes, the debut studio album from the Australian band, released May 2021 independently. Produced by Lord Tim at SLS Studios. This one comes after a long run of singles. All of them are on this album, including Morning Star and To Lead the Blind. This band features one of Australia's busiest frontmen in Jordan Von Gray doing the vocals. Is there a busier main man going around? I don't know at the moment. I think he'd be about it. Dave, over to you first.
Okay. I have been looking forward to this album. As long-term viewers of the show must know by now, I'm a bit of a symphonic metal fan. So this easily fits perfectly amongst some of the big names in that genre. If you're a fan of Nightwish, and particularly the Century, Child, or Imaginarium albums, or Camelot's Ghost Opera and Silverthorn albums, then you need to check this out. Okay. If you don't know those albums, you're not a fan of those genres, you still need to listen to this anyway, because it's fucking good. And this isn't at all a carbon copy of those bands. They're very much their own style. They just have the same genre attached to them. But this is the whole new spin on that whole thing. There are elements of melancholy, beauty, brutality, gothic romance, and the moods change between the songs and within the songs. And it's the right balance, so it doesn't fall into the trap of focusing too much on one particular emotion, which is pretty cool. The guitars can bring the heavy riffs and be the focus point, or when needed, they go back and the keyboards and the vocals can be up front. And guitar solos are very well done. They never overstay their welcome. They're not even a main focus point, I think. They're just in the right part of the song. I don't think every song has one. And that's kind of refreshing. Keyboards are great. They can be used to in the background to help fill out the sound, or in the foreground to build the melodies and be the main focus point. So it kind of shifts with who you're listening to. There's so much going on. And the orchestration and the composition is great. Used to build the dramatic effects of the stories. The drums, they hold the steady backdrop, and then they can be quite doomy in some of the slower songs, and gave me a bit of a typo negative feel. I thought that was really cool.
Okay, cool.
As you mentioned, Jordan Von Gray, the vocals throughout this album are fantastic. He has an amazing range, And it can not only handle the operatic vocals really well, but it's got a really good brutal growl as well. I remember seeing him with Cults of Vice, and he would switch just like that from one style to the other. At the point where I'm like, is he possessed or something? Because I don't know where this growl is coming from. It's really fucking well done. And when it's the beautiful emotional parts, he just puts the right amount of emotion into it, which is really well done. The lyrics will stick with you too. They're honest stories. They're set within the Gothic world, but they'll resonate with anyone who likes good storytelling. It's all captured really well. It's such an easy album to listen to over and over. So much to enjoy throughout this, and more to discover the more you listen to it. The opening track really sets the mood for the album. It's got a bit of a cinematic quality to it. Reminds me a bit of Fantasia mixed with the old Alfred Hitchcock movies. So it's got this sense of menace and this sense of wonder, which I thought it's very hard to bring all that together. Carpe Noctem, very cool use of keys to create kind of a music box, like you open up a music box and there's like a dancer inside. That's exactly what I got from that. And it's kind of used a lot in haunted houses and ghost tales and all that. And being a big fan of horror movies, if you like movies and stories and about hauntings and vampires, and this is definitely one to check out. I'm going to go on a bit. If you want a quick listen to how vast their sound is, there's a song called Relinquished, and it's got a beautiful piano intro. And the very next song, To Lead the Blind, is really fast and brutal and heavy, so capable of a lot. Celestia has really a nice feel to it. There's great backup whispering in the vocals and haunting keyboards and hypnotic vocals. It really sets the scene perfectly. It's kind of familiar, but it's not like I've heard it before. It just fits into the right mood. Fantastic flow of the album, changes from heavy to mellow to beautiful to melancholy. I could listen to this over and over. I like how it closes with 12-minute epic, just nice end of the journey, so to speak. But yeah, picking standouts is next to impossible. I think everything on here is fantastic, and the more I listen to it, the more I find a favorite. But overall, I gave it 9.5 out of 10, and the more I listen to it, might actually jump up to 10. But yeah, this is fucking good, and go listen to it.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we've gone with our symphonic metal fan first. Now we're going to go with someone who's not widely known for his love of this genre of music. So Brendan, how'd you go?
Yes, not a massive fan of symphonic metal, but I'd be a bit reluctant to put it in the same category with some of the other stuff, because I found this much easier to sit down and enjoy. I find there's a lot of pomp and ceremony and stuff with a lot of the traditional symphonic stuff that just sort of gives me the shits when it goes too far. Into that soaring operatic vocal and all this kind of crap. And this seems to avoid most of the stuff that shits me to tears.
Cool.
Hard not to like it. And like Jordan's amazing, and I've seen Bad Moon Born. I've seen Cults of Vice. I've never seen this live, but Jesus, I'd like to.
Me too.
Because he's not only amazing on this, but if you have seen him live, he's one hell of a performer. He's just one of those guys that can just sort of get a room and just have them, right there, in his hand and just sort of brings it all together. So I think this would be something pretty bloody special to see live. So I don't know if they've ever played in Melbourne, have they? And we just
don't think Carmeria have, no.
No. Well, they should, bastards.
Bring it on now.
This was pretty easy for me to digest as someone that doesn't like the genre traditionally. It was, amazing to listen to. The atmosphere was there. There's so much passion in the performance of all the instruments. So a lot of care has gone into this. This is something that's been slapped together. This is something that they've put a hell of a lot of work into it, and it shows. I found it really easy listen. I can't say much negative about it at all. I gave it 9 out of 10. So To Lead the Blind and Starfall for me were the definite standouts. But, it's an amazing album. It's an amazing album. You should definitely check it out.
Cool. Well, there we go. That honestly went a bit better than I expected, to be honest there, Brendan. So there we go. You're right about the attention to detail and the care given to it. They've been brewing this for a while. I think the first clip we played was a few years ago on the show, and that's one of the tracks that's on this album now. this opens up with a little instrumental piece that Dave mentioned before. But this whole thing, the whole album has this big epic feel to it without being too grandiose. Like you were saying, Brom, the bells and whistles aren't really there. It's much more of a focus on just great composition, and that's what makes this whole thing flow. I think the lyrics go hand in hand with that. There's some great drama in this. I think that, if you want an example of that sort of stuff, go and check out the track Morning Star. But I think there's a fair bit of darkness in both the composition and lyrics too. But the thing is that for a lot of this style of music, there's a fair bit of cheese in it, but this has none of that. This just feels almost like pure theatre in a lot of respects, just put down onto a record. But it's really, really well done. Like, as in, when I say these sorts of things, for my mind, you think about things like Phantom of the Opera. Now, no one thinks that's cheesy. It's a really dramatic story, and that's what I think you're getting out of a listen like this. It's a very dramatic listen that's actually riveting and takes you along for the ride. Heaps of melody. I like the balance between that and the harsh growls, which Dave was mentioning before too. That was insane. The clean vocals are stunning. But I think that while this doesn't rely on hooks, there's some surprising ones in this as well. There are some earworms in this that will get stuck in your head pretty quickly, which is cool. I think that I like some of the vocal note choices on tracks like To Lead the Blind. There were some really cool semitone uses and things like that, which was really interesting. You don't get a lot of that. And that song also had some really nice lead work in it too, which was one of those things that was cool. But it's because the byplay between the synth, the vocals, and the lead guitar to be out the front was a really good, three-way trade on those ones. But then underneath that, the bass and the drums just kept, anchoring the whole thing down and letting the platform go. Everyone's playing for each other and with each other, which is really cool. I thought this flowed nice. It's a bit punchier at the start than it is toward the end, but the last track, The Epic, is a pretty brilliant closer. It's got everything in one track for that one there. And I don't know, the only critique I've got for it is probably a little bit in the mix. It felt a little bit thin for me. I didn't quite get the punch that I was hoping for at it. It's really warm. It's particularly warm in the vocals and the synth. I just felt like it could have been better to dial some of the things back and just let the bass sort of come up a bit more to give it a little more sort of bottom end sort of filling out, I guess. But it's a very, very small critique. I'm fussy about this sort of stuff, so that people that have been watching for a while will know that about me. So take my critiques with a grain of salt, because probably no one else will pick up on it anyway. So take that with a grain of salt for what it's worth, but I think it's just a small missed trick. But overall, this is an incredibly well done album, well worth your time. And I think it's one of those ones where it's cool how this one works as both a background listen and a deep dive listen too. So either way, you're going to have this one getting your attention pretty quickly. So it'll work while you're doing your housework, or it works as a deep dive focus listen, because there's some ear candy and some little things going in on this which make it really engaging to listen in that regard as well. I think it's well worth your time. Please do check it out. I gave an 8.5 out of 10. I picked To Lead the Blind, Veil of Sanctitude, and Eternity. So between us there, we got a few different standouts, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Benny jumped in. Benny is a good friend of ours from Facebook. Jumped in to say, well described, Dave. So there we go. Dave did do the legwork on that one for sure. That was to be expected. Anything with this genre of music is going to be Dave's go-to in a heartbeat. All right, we're going to change gears completely. This is one of the more extreme right turns we'll have taken for a while. Is Die Walk around the background there, Brendan?
I can hear it, yeah.
if you walk through right eye.
Nice. No one can see you now, honey.
That's always good. You're safe. In the comments and also in the description for this, there's a link to Charlie Benante and friends performing Funny Vibe, which is a Living Colour cover, because we're going to move on now. Like I was saying, we're going to change gears. We're going to move on to Charlie Benante with Silver Linings. So this is 14 tracks for 60 minutes. This album comes from the Anthrax drummer, released May 2021 by Megaforce Records. This is a special little COVID project consisting of covers performed by Charlie with a host of guests, which came about after Charlie found himself basically doom scrolling, getting depressed after being glued to the news and social media cycle during the height of COVID. And as such, this was a bit of a release mechanism for him and for his guests as well, I take it. A lot of this is available on YouTube. There's stuff that's not on this album that's on YouTube as part of this whole little series is done as well. But that's where this all sort of comes from. And Brendan, you and I were talking about this very briefly the other night, but let's go to you first.
I love Charlie Benante, probably one of my favourite drummers of all time. But this disappointed me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jesus. the amount of like electronic drum track on this, I'm like, you've got one of the best drummers in the world, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And he's using fucking electronic shit. I'm like, fuck. I struggled. And there's peaks and troughs, and it's covers, and they're trying to do their own take on it. But I find when they're trying to do their own take, they miss the mark. And when they're sort of saying true to the original composition, they're too true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it was a bit weird. Like when he did, was it Mr. Speed by Kiss? It's like you might as well put on the original. Like it's hard to take it away. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. You know, but they brought nothing to the table with it. You know, it was just kind of like, yeah, okay. And some of the choices are really weird. The Run DMC medley, which I thought, to be honest, part of me was kind of looking forward to hearing, and that fell so flat. You know,
like one of the more interesting ones because at least it was relatively original, like by comparison.
I thought musically it was really like Run DMC had more impact and more punch than this did, which that's not what I would have expected. The cover of Rhiannon I thought was really nice. Transylvania I thought was pretty well done. The Maiden one.
Done without the clipping though.
Yeah, possibly. You're the clipping master. I'm not even going to get involved in that nonsense. The cover of Bad Guy. You want to know how to do that properly? Check out Bad Man Born. They do it so much better. Yeah. If there is a highlight on this, and it certainly is. Sorry, there is a major highlight on this, and that's Funny Vibe. So, unfortunately, you get to the last track, and I go, hallelujah, I've got something I want to fucking listen to. I seriously doubt I'll ever go back to this. It's not awful. You know, put it on in the background. It won't bother you that much. You know, if they're having a bit of fun in lockdown, good luck to them. I hope they had more fun than I did listening to it. Yeah, it didn't do a lot for me. 4 out of 10. Funny Vibe is the highlight without doubt.
Yeah. All right. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, it's definitely an album for him that he did to keep himself sane or occupied or just get something happening. The interesting part is the track selection. It certainly shows he's got a very vast interest in music. Some of which I wish he didn't, to be honest. Yeah, some of the artists that I was never a fan of, this album isn't going to change my mind on that. Massive Attack, U2, nah, not interested. Run DMC, not really a fan. It's fun on SingStar when you're drunk. During It's Tricky, you know, believe it or not, I can rap when I'm drunk, or I think I can, but
no doubt, no doubt at all.
Everyone can rap when they're drunk, but yeah. So none of those songs I'm inspired to check out the originals. And as Brendan was saying, the Kiss covers all the way and Mr. Speed, they're pretty much the same as what you're going to get. So you just go straight to Kiss. The Maiden cover, Transylvania, that was done pretty cool. But I don't know why they misspelled it on Spotify with double N. That was weird. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice it? It looked weird. I'm like, what? Transylvania. Yeah, now you know them. Yeah, Rihanna was pretty cool. And the Funny Vibe by Living Colour, that was pretty cool. Don't know that much Living Colour, but that cover was pretty cool.
Living Colour.
Yeah. But the best thing about a cover album is finding some bands that you're not too familiar with to check out. And the UK prog rock band I never heard of, but that song Presto v Venice, yeah, that was interesting. It's might worth check out that band. And I don't know as much Tom Petty as I would like, but You're So Bad was pretty cool. And Carla Harvey's vocals, they weren't bad on that. And I'm not too familiar with Butcher Babies, so it was quite a surprise to me.
Well, Carla's dating Charlie, so that's how that came all about.
Yeah. Like, I need a vocalist. I need a female vocalist. Honey, you see? And, Jimmy James and the Jimmy James Jam, that was cool. I don't know Jimmy James and the Vagabonds at all. I had to look it up, but yeah, that was all right. Yeah, and as far as fucking Bad Guy goes, it's a horrible song. It can get in the bin. And this stays too close to the original, and it's just fucking annoying. And as Brendan says, Bad Moon Born does it so much better. It's actually half listenable. It's interesting to hear something different from him, but I don't think I'll be going back to this too often. I gave it 5 out of 10, and You're So Bad and Transylvania and Jimmy James Jam are my standouts.
Okay. Well, let's make it 3 for 3. This is just an odd album to listen to. It opens with a U2 track, which kind of sets the tone.
That doesn't help. Let's be honest.
But the thing is, right, the thing is that when you go through it, what else would you open this album with? Like, I don't know. That you're not spoiled for choice. That's the problem here. I'm not going to bother listing off all the guests on this thing. There's fucking everyone on here. This to me feels like an assignment I would have handed him when I was doing my audio engineering degree. That's what this feels like. It feels like homework being handed in. And I know that everyone had fun and everyone's doing their own thing to cope, but I would just think this is just better to be left on YouTube. I don't see the point of packaging it as an album. I don't see that there's a purpose to that for mine.
Even the drums sounded thin.
Yeah.
It was an anti-album. Like, it's like, really?
I'm assuming it was all relatively self-produced and whatever else have you. I don't know how it was all done, technically speaking. I mean, it's the way I took it is that, it's technically well executed in the concept of, when you go to things like the Kiss covers, the fact they fucking went and did the original production for it that's what I mean by it's like a homework assignment. It's like, we can do this because we know how to do it. Yeah. But there's literally zero fucking need to do it. If you want to hear it sound that bad, you'll go back to the 70s recordings. Like, that's...
And what I actually, I meant to say, what I find really annoying is that, like, Anthrax have got a record of doing some fucking amazing covers. They know how to do it, and Kiss covers too, might I add. Yeah, like their version of She is better than Kiss's version of She. They know how to drive it and make it a metal song, and that's what I was hoping for, and I got none of it. Yeah, got none of it.
Yeah, I'm going to echo the sentiment on Bad Guy. I think that song is incredibly overrated. I don't think that's a good song. I don't think it's that strong a song. If you want to see it covered well, go and pay attention to Bad Moon Born. That'll be about the best way to go and do it. However, for this one, it was a cover between Charlie and the bass player from Suicidal Tendencies, I think it was, and they used the original vocal track. They used Billie Eilish's vocal. So what's the point of doing a cover when you're using the original vocalist, the vocal track from the single? So what the fuck is It really does feel like an exercise, not a thing for fun, if that makes sense. I'm sure it was fun for them, but listening to it, it doesn't feel like, I'm not getting any of that fun transferred through to me as a listener. So you're not getting any of the fun stuff. You're not getting anything new out of it because the covers are incredibly faithful. And like Brendan said, when they decided to diversify it, it doesn't do anything to hold your attention. So it's just like, I'm glad he had fun. That's about it. Like, that's all I can take away from it. I feel bad because it'd be one of the lowest scores I've given this year, but it's like, there's nothing here really. Like, it was good to hear it once. Not worth going back to. I think I'll probably forget this one by the end of the year and we'll never go back to it again, most likely. So, which is a shame because you want more from this. The talent's there, so it's like, okay, this would be cool. Especially considering the lineup of guests. Like, how you get the amount of people that's on this and just turn out something that's so faithful at some points. It's just, what's the point of having all those people on then? Just so they can carbon copy something? You want to get their flair. If you got all these names, you want something of those people, not just we can play to the track. It's like, that's not the point. I'm all for faithful covers, but not to that level.
I've got a positive.
Okay.
It's better than Tommy Lee's album.
This is true. This is much more palatable. At least the songs were finished. So I'll go with that as a theory. He didn't finish them because he didn't write them, but at least they were finished. Look, bottom line this, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I don't get the hate for Massive Attack and Teardrop Dave. I like that song, actually, so that's one of my standouts on this. Transylvania, another one. Rhiannon was good too, but I also liked the Funny Vibe Living Colour. But honestly, as much as you listen to standouts, they're just stuff that wasn't boring. completely. You know, it's just that sort of thin of a record. But anyway, if you're out there, let us know. Sorry?
So disappointing.
We do have some comments here. So Darren Humphries has gone with probably the comment of the night so far. Charlie made an album during COVID to keep himself occupied. Isn't he going out with Carla Harvey? Yes and yes. So that
had a gaffer tape.
That wouldn't be a problem in your own household, but hey. Yeah, so Dave, this one's for you. It is tricky to rick a rhyme.
Rock a rhyme. That's right on time. It's tricky.
All right, so Helen DiMartino, our good regular friend Helen, has jumped in again. So just checking in, hosting this without makeup in the early 80s. I remember necking Verve bottles in the wee hours at Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Helen has all the good stories. We have to get her on here one day just to start telling some of these stories, I think. So if you're up for that, Helen, let us know. That'll be a lot of fun. There are some stories to be told because there was last time she was around, she was saying during the interview, she was trying to top a story about, drunken shenanigans. And didn't want to say it there. I'm like, no, we've got to get on to talk about that. So there's some stories there from Helen, I think. But anyway, moving on, we have one more band to go through, one more album I should go through. And there's a link in the comments now to go and check out the latest from Sunbomb, which is a track called Better End. We played this one on the show on TV recently. This one's got a pretty good feedback to it, I guess, so far overall. And we have to thank Mick for bringing this one to our attention. He's the one that sent it through in the group chat we got going on. Because I didn't even know this was coming out until he sent it through and then looked up the date, and away we go. So here we go. Let's get into the main event for tonight, and that is Sunbomb with Evil and Divine, 11 tracks for 48 minutes. This is the debut studio album from the first-time pairing of Michael Sweet and Tracy Guns. They're joined by Adam Hamilton on drums and Mitch Davis on bass, although there is a guest spot from Johnny Martin on the track We Fought on bass. Released May 2021 via Frontiers Records. I'm assuming this was produced by the Frontiers in-house producer Alessandro Del Vecchio, judging by the credits on this. So far, at least 3 singles have been released, including Better End and No Tomorrows, and that's what we have for that one. So, Dave, let's go to you first on this.
Yeah, this one came up on the review list, and I knew nothing about this band. And right from the start, put it on, like, wow, this is really cool. Got a few songs in, so I decided to check out who the band was, and was surprised to learn it's Michael Sweet and Tracy Guns. Holy shit, what a great combination. Yeah.
Wondering how you go with that.
They work really well together. They could create a hell of a heavy metal album. And if you're a fan of either of them, you really need to check this out. And if, like me, you put off Striper by their lyrics and the whole God thing, finally something I can listen to and enjoy. The stories are interesting and well written. And Sweet, he's always had an amazing voice. He just usually had shit lyrics, and this is fantastic. This has a big sound, really big sound, big riffs, big drums, big hooks, and fantastic vocals. They're definitely the strong point on here. Holy shit. Fast, energetic playing, killer guitar solos, ticks all the right boxes if you're an old school metalhead. They're not reinventing the wheel or anything, or playing things that haven't been heard before, but they're doing it with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Yeah. And they're certainly enjoying themselves. Got a bit of a Black Sabbath vibe in the song Take Me Away. It was cool use of the tritone there, and I thought, yeah. Plus, you got the whole biblical fighting wars or whatever you want to add into it. It's definitely there, but it's not annoying like early Striper. There's a nice acoustic track in the middle of the album which kind of balances things out. A song called Been Said and Done. I think it was production or mood, but it kind of reminded me of Rotten Apple from Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Yeah, it got that vibe. I'm not sure exactly why it made me think of that. The production on that's really cool too, because while it does bring things down a notch, it still maintains the same energy of the album, so it's not like out of place. And the vocals their vocals together go really well. On a lot of modern albums, you have like intro, atmospheric, synth, or Foley to get into a song. There's none of that shit on this. It just like a whole album of killer rock heavy metal songs, just get straight down to it, gets the job done, and it's a hell of a fun listen. Give it 8.5 out of 10. Take Me Away, No Tomorrows, Been Said and Done, World Gone and Well Gone Wrong. One of my standouts.
Nice. All right. Cool. How about you, Brendan?
I found it to be pretty. It started really well, and I was really impressed with like the first 3 or 4 tracks, and then it turned into a bit of a one-trick pony for me. I thought,
really?
yeah, it's a nice, yeah. Well, I've never been a massive fan of Michael Sweet's voice, his beliefs aside, but it's never really me. So like the first sort of 4 tracks, I'm like in the zone. I'm like, yeah, because he was really kind of rocking it out. Then he kind of started to soar a bit, with a more sort of Sabbathy kind of influenced tracks, and I vagued out a bit, and it's not that it's bad. It's a long way from bad. It's just kind of it wasn't grabbing me. I wasn't really holding my attention. I found it kind of like listening to King Diamond for too long.
Okay.
Whenever you do that, and I love King Diamond, but you can't listen to it all fucking day. Like it will do your head in. And by the end of this album, I sort of got very tired of the vocal. It's good. It sounds good. I'm pretty happy with the production. It's pretty raw and nice, and it sits round about where I like it. And like Dave was saying, no bullshit, no keys that weren't being grandiose. They were just rocking out, and that was cool. But it got a bit long and boring for me. But that could purely be a taste thing, and also that Michael Sweet's voice kind of sounds like a goose farting in the fog. So could be that. But I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was all right. I gave it 6 out of 10. Take Me Away and Better End were certainly the highlights, and then kind of fell off a cliff a bit for me.
Yeah. All right. I got some more comments to go through. We're getting some coming through on this one.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, no, you're in the clear so far. Wait and see what the reruns get later on for you. That's where we get the negative comments later on. A lot of the press leading up to this was talking about how this is different from both LA Guns and from Striper, and that's absolutely correct. This is much more of a traditional heavy metal album than what either of those 2 bands have honestly put out. Take Me Away is straight out of the Sabbath playbook. There's another track on this, Born to Win, which goes to a Led Zeppelin vibe at the start of it and then moves on to an almost sort of punk energy. So there's a fair bit going into this. You got Better End, which is like ramp things up, and the wailing sort of comes through there. That might be where the fatigue has kicked in for you, Brendan, because the wailing was used a fair bit on this one. So that might be where that came in. The high-pitched wails from Michael Sweet were. I thought they were well done, but I would also understand if they were a bit long in the tooth by the end of the album. I think that they did the album flow nicer. There's a nice little acoustic ballad right in the middle of the album, and I thought that was a really good spot to put it. It sounded glorious coming in there too, and this album, made good use of dynamics to keep you listening to it the whole way through. I didn't get the drop off that Brendan talked about. This one kept me engaged the whole way through. I think the production's good overall, nice and warm, plenty of bite, just enough sparkle on it as well. I think the vocal layering was done well on this too. Nothing complicated, just pull good tones at the source, mix it together, and it worked out pretty bloody well. And overall, I think this is probably heavier than you expect. When you think, Tracy Guns and Michael Sweet, you're probably not thinking of the heaviest thing out there, but this is a good, like genuinely old school heavy metal album with some good fucking riffs, but also the weight of it too. Like this, the Sabbath influence on things where that you slow down, you just have a weight in these songs. Combine the lyrical content. Now, Dave mentioned it, and I think that there's always going to be an element of faith in what Michael Sweet does, but on this one, it's so dialed back compared to other things we've listened to from him in the past that on this one, it feels really allegorical, and it's just storytelling versus anything else, and that's only the small references there are. Otherwise, there's some great stories written for this outside of it. I think lyrically, there's some really good stuff here. I think on that front, if you struggle with Striper, this is an album to check out because this allows you to enjoy some good riffs, some great vocals, and not have any of that stuff to go with it. I thought that was a really good trick they turned on this. I thought, there's a bit of roughness in the edges on this one too. Tracks like Story of the Blind sort of keep that there. But I think all in all, it's pretty straightforward. If you like riffs and melody, check this one out. It's a good sort of gateway record into the talent of Michael Sweet vocally if you are keen to check out more. This is a solid listen that you will pick up again from time to time. Not going to blow your mind, but this is a really good pairing that I would genuinely like to hear more from. So he is hoping this isn't just a one-and-done project from these guys. I reckon there's more in the tank from this. And now they've got this sort of first one out. The second one is usually where these little projects tend to get a little better because they've settled in. I'd like to hear them do another album to see where they can take it. It'd be really interesting to me to hear them do that. But we'll see what happens. But for now, I gave this one an 8 out of 10. I picked Been Said and Done, Story of the Blind, and World Gone Wrong. I thought World Gone Wrong was a really cool story in that song as well, which is really nice. Just a quick little notice, it's funny that this is the one that fatigued Brendan the most when this is the shortest album in tonight's session. And
Really?
yeah, the other ones went for it. Carmeria goes for an hour. I think the Charlie Benante goes for 64 minutes, and this one goes for 48.
There you go.
Yep. Charlie Benante goes
really, doesn't it?
So there you go. Nudes jumped in to say, I'm assuming liking what he's heard of the album so far, which is cool. Helen gave you a compliment, Dave. They're saying loving the honesty of not having heard an album or an artist. That's humble. From YouTube, a new one. So a new face on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. The Mann family have gone Life, which is the opening track on this album, I believe. I'll double check that now. I've got the track. Yeah, Life is the opening track of this one. It's a cool song. Good show, fellas. So thank you for tuning in. What is this? But here you go, Brendan. This one's for you. Glad to hear I'm not the only one that has never been able to get into Michael Sweet's vocals. So you guys in the pool business are keeping each other company.
No, to be honest, that's not actually true. Tim and I normally disagree on everything. So, yeah. Nice touch.
Well, there you go. This is bizarre. All right. Sally's jumped in too. Yep, I listened. My ears got tired of Michael's voice and the soaring constant top-end power. Okay, he needs more smooth lower tones for me to keep listening. I do agree with that. I got to the fourth song, just went meh on the sound, so no longer engaged in music.
Well,
there you go. You know what? Yeah, okay, so Sally's with you there, Brendan. There you go. You got some support here tonight. So there you go. Feeling better about things now?
I was feeling good before. So
Tim's jumped in to say very true again. So whether that's Sally or whether you guys disagreeing, either way, I think it fits. But yeah, so that's us. That's our albums for tonight, and that brings us toward the end of another silly session for us here. I think that next up we'll go to the bin in a second. Sally's just having a good old chuckle about things now. So I'm glad we've got the regulars. Good to get some new faces in here. Thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. It's been great. Again, as always, check out our details are in the description of this, whether you're watching now live with us or watching later on. Thank you for tuning in whenever you do so, or listening on Spotify and other platforms as well. Check out the description. Follow us on all of our links. Follow our sponsors too. A big thank you to Screen Printing, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Thank you so much for your support. And if you'd like to help us out directly yourselves, then check out our Patreon page, or there's a PayPal link as well. They're just every little bit does help us to get more done. So take for that for what it's worth, but don't if you don't want to. It's all good either way. What else we got? Yeah, so TV spots. Got to promote the TV spots. So coming up tonight on Channel 44 in Adelaide. So it's every Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Adelaide time. We have another episode on tonight and every week after that. And then 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights on Channel 31 Melbourne and Geelong. For those tuning in Adelaide tonight, it's what was on the episode that we aired in Melbourne last Saturday night. So it's got, I think, Kaizen Machines of Creation, which is a little band from Adelaide. We have the review of Taking the Pith from Eat the Damn Orange on there as well, with some music and some other stuff going on there too. So please do check it all out. There's a lot of fun to go and get into. But that's all the usual preamble stuff. I think, next stream will be on Sunday night about 7:30 p.m. The plan is, which no one knows about until now, is to review the latest from, if everything goes to plan, we'll review the latest from Dr. Colossus, Thunder Mother, and Pop Evil. Will be that one. Tuesday night, we have an interview slated. I haven't quite gotten a trillion times, the confirmation you want, but it's looking pretty good, so I can't really plug it just yet. And then if everything goes to plan, back again next Thursday with more reviews and more usual stupidity for you to enjoy as well. At the end of this month, our grunge special is coming out. That'll be on TV and online, so make sure you get ready for that one. That was fun between Dave, Tim, and myself. So that'll be... I know. You really wanted to come down to that one too.
I did.
That was a lot of fun, but we'll all get to see it soon enough, the outcome of that session. Probably overall went a bit better than people thought. But anyway, I think that brings us to the end of another fun little session. So that takes us, there's been one little bit of business to go, and that's the bin. The bin. So, Brendan, it's been a little while for you. How about you go first?
Okay, can I put myself in the bin?
If you want.
Yes. I'm going to be putting myself in the bin for being a hypocritical prick like most of us are at one point or another in our lives. But I have been known to have a crack at the vinyl revival dickwads over the journey. And for a time, rightly so. But I must admit, I did not see the death of the CD and the vinyl relaunch coming anywhere near as quick as it did. So I'm putting myself in the bin because vinyl is going to be a thing that you're now going to have to do to support the local bands. Yep. The digital media is dead. Vinyl is back. This is Cicada Stone. I'm going to give myself a second plug. I wouldn't do that again because I've done that 17 times. Vinyl's where it's at, and they're expensive to produce. They really are. So, get on board. It's a special thing. Like when these bands sort of like my band and like all these little local bands, when they break up, the digital thing will now be dead. So if you don't own a physical copy, music won't exist anymore. So keep your CDs. For love of God, don't ever throw them out. Keep your CDs. These things are important. But now, as bands are not going to make CDs, as a lot of the younger bands don't make them at all.
It's not cost effective.
No, it's not. Even though they're cheap to make, it's not cost effective because no one's buying them and there's nothing to play them on. So vinyl's going to be where it's at. So if you want to support the bands, buy T-shirts and vinyl. It's going to be where it's at. And happy to admit I was wrong.
Whoa, there we go. That's on the record. Don't get that very often from any of us, but all right. Just quickly jumping in, Lee has jumped in. Hello, Lee. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you will be adopting shoegazing pose and flannelette shirt for the Grunge special. You will have to wait and see on that one. And about time the camera and Brendan, you've finally seen the light. So there we go. And Helen's gone. Thanks, Crew. Put it in the bins last night. Took them in again today, so harden the fuck up because it's your shit going out every week. Awesome. There we go. All right. Dave, what have you got for the bin this week?
Yeah, just going to say quickly, I hope people still make CDs because they're cheaper than vinyl, and I like CDs. So that's my 5 cents on it. I was sitting here for the last 5 minutes saying, what the hell do I put in the bin? Because I didn't really have anything this week. But then I realized petrol prices are fucking ridiculous at the moment, so petrol prices are going in the bin.
Okay. No, I think you'll have a lot of agreement on that. Yep.
Glad I drive a diesel.
Yeah. So am I. At least it's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The Navara goes nicely on that one. For mine, for anyone paying attention, you would know that I'm a Collingwood supporter. And yes, I know, Brendan. Laugh as much as you want right now. It's not been a good year. It's been a particularly bad week. So I would like to put the media and using Collingwood for clickbait into the bin this time around. Now, don't get me wrong, Collingwood have done plenty wrong. I'm not excusing Collingwood in this one, but where I'm getting at today is that Joffa looks like allegedly he's being charged with child sex offences and all this sort of stuff, which is deplorable. Fucking let the courts do their thing. However, every fucking media outlet goes Collingwood superfan up on child sex charges, and then the article is behind a fucking paywall. Fuck off. Okay, I know exactly what you're doing. It's been a shit show of a year. You don't need to lump that stuff on that club as well, because at the same time they distance and they cut ties with them more than a year ago. So it's like it's just pure cashing in now. So it makes you throw the whole lot just in there, because for mine it's just enough. You don't need to have stuff that actually has nothing to do with the club being dumped in there as well for mine. That's just cashing in clickbait bullshit, and that's part of the problems we have journalism in this country, which is why community television is so important, to go back around to the start of all things as well. So there we go. That's my bin for this week.
Well, we closed the circle. Look at us.
Nice looking.
I did, huh? Yes, very nicely. To which Lee has jumped in to say, good old Collingwood forever. Yeah, not this year. Here we go. Now the comments going. Tim's gone. Most Collingwood supporters can't read, so paywall is irrelevant.
Most SSN supporters are stoned. It's fine.
Hey, look, this is a Collingwood supporter that produces this shit, so you can take that for what it's worth. A bin from Darren Humphries, a regular of ours. Thanks for jumping in. In the bin, bands that release an album that fans buy when it comes out, and then the band releases the deluxe version, limited edition versions, etc., etc., etc. Yes, that is a bit of a cash grab. We will see. It could be an interesting hot topic at one point, I think, actually, that one. Is it worth doing it or not?
That's why I release a limited edition first, assuming I would not release another edition. Clever.
Very clever. And Man Family on YouTube, go Demons. Well, you guys are flying this year, so fucking enjoy it while you can because, yeah, so far so good for you guys. Well done. All around.
Yeah, welcome.
Yep. All right. But I think that's it. Anyone else got anything they want to add before we log off for the night?
No,
I think I'm good.
No. Hey, look, my house is decorated with 3 Richmond fucking flag things. Wife, Jody goes to Richmond, so I've got it all happening here. So there we go. But I think that's it. That's us for now. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thanks to you two for jumping in on a Thursday night and having some fun with us. It's been grand as always. But yeah, we'll do the whole process of logging off from each platform in just a second. But here we go. Here you go. Another one. Lee's gone. Hang on. Whoa, got some comments. Lee's gone. Go Tigers.
See, Lee's
yeah, Lee gets it. Darren's gone. Taking the piss to Tangerine version.
to be honest, the original version is almost that already. A friend of mine called it the passion fruit version because you see, kind of anyway, doesn't
matter. And Nudes has gone. Am I the only NRL guy here? No, I think
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You don't follow the you follow the Storm when Collingwood suck.
No, I sort of follow the Storm. It's most but I will say what I do follow is the State of Origin because Jody watches State of Origin every year. She always has. So State of Origin I get into. That's my real sort of cool one. Helen's gone. I'm off to listen to Perry Como. Okay, enjoy. Question marks there.
Okay. Guy myself, but okay.
Yeah, okay. There's a few there. Imagine doing an old Rat Pack special from us one day. That'd be interesting.
I've got plenty of vinyl.
Now we're closing other circles while we go through it as well. All right, but that'll do us for now. Thank you all so much for joining in and having some fun with us in the comments tonight. It's absolutely awesome to have this interaction going. That's why we use this platform so much. We enjoy this part of it most of all. But thanks again for everyone for tuning in. Adrian's gone. Good job, lads. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that one. You did, so cheers for the kind words. But we'll see you all again.
That's Adrian Gallagher. He's a mate of mine. I think he's in hospital at the moment. So, dude, yeah. I hope you're doing much better and hope you get home soon, buddy.
Awesome. Yeah, here. Second that completely. Sorry to hear. Hope everything is on the mend over there. Changing gears. Sally's gone. Thanks, boys. Keep warm. Well, we're trying to. I've got a heater in here and a leather jacket, so I'm doing all right. I think Brendan was running around in shorts before, so, take that for what it's worth.
No, I wasn't.
No? Anyway, we'll confirm or deny after we log off. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Andrew.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Dave.
We'll see you all again very, very soon. Until then.
Drink up.
Rock on.
One final comment. Sally's gone blue balls. Yep, if you're cold enough, definitely.
Yes, they are.
Oh, hello. On that note, we're logging off. So see you later, Twitter. Bye-bye for now. And then we're going to move. Oh, it's taken a long time to remove from that one. We're still live, so just bear with it. Oh, here we go. Okay, that one's logged off. Now we're going to go bye-bye.